Thanks, Saurabh. And I think I'll pick my answer from the couple of pointers which Ashley brought him in his answer. One, the key aspect he talked about the interconnectivity in the entire piece. And second, the thing which I could pick up was breaking the silos. In historically, the decisions or the entire, I'll say, the distribution, which is now an evolved term, would I'll say route to market operations. So all of that used to work in silos. Let's say the product guy who's driving an assortment will possibly take a decision in silo and take certain initiatives on ground. Similarly, a supply chain guy will do these kind of things. And over the years, what we have seen that now people are thinking in a direction that all of that and what Ashley also mentioned has to be connected. Now, when it has to be connected, so which means the white spaces or the demand signals are now there all over the place in terms of, let's say, for a brand, if they're focusing on coverage increase, then they're focusing on areas and making it hyper personalized, that where I could find out the missing outlets or the missing opportunity in that terms. Secondly, there could be a case that my coverage is sorted, but I'm missing out demand signals in terms of capturing orders or possibly not supplying from the system, etc. And all of these white spaces then have to talk to each other to come up with the right action, and to which we see that when we approach it along with some of the key customers of ours, it's a 5-step process which people say that they want to try it out in terms of I'll say creating an operating system for the route to market, which is, let's say, first do a sense check in terms of utilizing your internal data, which Anmol brought in her point. Then obviously integrating that data with some of the external aspects, point of interest data, competition information, etc., etc. Once you do that sense check, people then move into a piece of decision layer, where people are saying, now I have enough input. How do I transform it into action? Now, when I transform it into action, it could be an action about creating right route designing, creating right demand forecast for a particular store, and again, hyper personalized based on the segmentation, channel, customer type, and whatnot, and eventually orchestrating everything in that handheld for the end user who's going to execute it, integrating it with the execution layer where right signals are being given to the user, that what needs to be talked about, how to talk about, etc. And finally having a feedback loop on the top of it. And if these 5 components are talking to each other in an interconnected ecosystem, that's where we see that people are actually solving that need or the white spaces which are being created and taking right actions on it. And because the system itself is interconnected, which means the feedback loop has to give inputs to all 5 tenants or touch points which exists in this loop. So that's how we are collaborating. And we see the future itself is that the operating system of route to market has to be in a way that the language business leaders speak and what you translate back into a technology.